take the next chance. And the next. You're all rebels, aren't you?
Save your rebellion! Save the dream!
It is a masterpiece, James. Complete. Comprehensive.
In a time when Star Wars movies are disappointing, pending an alternate cut of a movie that may or may not exist.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Hashtag release the Abrams cut because I would like to move on with my life.
I want to be free of this pain.
A movie that underperformed at the box office, yet was rather inoffensive, but also kind of forgettable, besides Darth Maul and the Flag Smashers.
Deja vu, I just been in this place before.
A movie that was divisive to the point that even mentioning its name adds more venom to an internet war whose bloodlust will never be satisfied till the flames of the apocalypse envelop us all and plunges the world into the eternal darkness of the unknown.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
But before all those movies, before our Disney overlords started to give us content on our favorite streaming service that we literally only use to keep up with the MCU and whatever Favreau or Filoni have their names on,
Wow.
we had Rogue One, which is considered the best Disney Star Wars movie and one of the best Star Wars movies in general. And it's not hard to see why Rogue One is a great Star Wars movie.
If the Empire has this kind of power, what chance do we have?
The question is, what choice? We have hope. Are you with me?
All the way.
Save the rebellion! Save the dream!
Rogue One, a Star Wars story, rated PG-13.
You would think knowing exactly how a story is going to turn out would make it hard to be invested in the film, knowing that these characters aren't our golden trio, but rebels we've never heard of and most certainly will die. Yet it's the opposite.
My favorite part of Rogue One is, without a doubt, Riz Ahmed's Bodhi Rook. His redemption arc throughout that film is a thing of beauty. Watching him go from Imperial cargo pilot to hero of the rebellion it's a sight to behold. And knowing that he died with the idea that there is hope that the Empire will one day fall, it's just beautiful, beautiful. Rogue One, it's a beautiful film. If you haven't watched it yet, you gotta watch it.
The reason why Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars films is that it completely shocked me. The new perspective of the story and not knowing what to expect and then dashing my preconceived notions while going in makes this one of my top Star Wars films to view over and over again. To this day, I can't watch A New Hope without first watching Rogue One.
Star Wars Rogue One for me was an expansion off of an old Star Wars video game. In fact, a series that I find near and dear to my heart, Star Wars Dark Forces, in which you do have a mission where you do steal the Death Star plan. So for me, I saw Rogue One as an expansion on that, but also at the same time, a story set in the new canon that does not require the usage of the Force to drive the narrative. Like all throughout the prequel and the original trilogy, the Force is the narrative. The Skywalker saga is the narrative. So for me, it was refreshing to see not just the story point stepping out of using the Force as the main narrative point, but also building out the world, showing us what life is like under Imperial rule, showing us how the rebels lived and acted, even for that short moment. So for me, I just love Rogue One because it's its own story. Like, even if you like it or hate it, it's still a good contribution to Star Wars in general, especially the new canon.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen people talk fondly about Rogue One more than any other Disney Star Wars film. Even if they don't think it's the best Star Wars movie, there's a moment that they love, a character that they connect to, and an ending that is heartbreaking, horrifying, and hopeful. We feel the excitement of the Battle of Scarif, the fear of Vader's rage, and the desperation of rebels as they realize this mission might be their last one, because it's not about individual glory. This isn't the mission to destroy the Death Star. This is the mission to even make that mission possible. That's what makes every battle, every death feel so impactful, because we know what they are fighting for. We know what every single sacrifice means to the future, from our named characters characters to nameless rebels desperately trying to escape Darth Vader to get the plans to Leia. The strength of Rogue One is not revising or reinventing Star Wars. It's showcasing what makes Star Wars great. Rogue One achieved something that Star Wars hasn't achieved since A New Hope. It captured the uncertainty of war in Star Wars. These are captivating characters, not because they are copies of the archetypes from the original trilogy characters, or because they are a meta commentary of other characters or the franchise in order to invoke a divisive reaction from passionate fans. These characters aren't special because they are or aren't related to a known character, or because they have the Force or don't have the Force, but because of their actions. Everyone is important in some way to stealing the plans for the Death Star. This is what makes us care as audiences, even if we don't know the entire backstory of these characters. And even if not all these characters are gonna make it out of the story, it allows us to relate to all of them so well.
But you know, Bodhi should have had his backstory fleshed out just a little bit more, considering he was born and raised on Jedha and saw Galen as an almost father figure.
Our focus is in the moment, the individual sacrifices we feel because they happen so suddenly. For the first time since the first Star Wars movie, we're experiencing war as it was supposed to be again. There is no plot armor. There are just characters trying to survive. We don't know who will make it out of this battle. We don't know if any one of them will make it out of this battle. We're witnessing their lives through a brief window before it's closed for good. This makes us fear for their safety, and it makes their death just the more tragic because Rogue One represents how Star Wars started. Before there was a saga, before there was even a trilogy, there was the story of a small band of rebels fighting against the Empire, fighting for their freedom, and fighting for a new hope. Even though all the characters died, even though we knew the ending to this movie going into it, even though the movie itself had a troubled production and had so many different reshoots that no one even talks about what they were, Rogue One is still the best Disney Star Wars story. I'm not saying Rogue One is a perfect movie. I'm not saying Rogue One is the best movie. I'm saying that Rogue One is a great Star Wars movie because it reminds everyone why they love Star Wars. It reminds everyone why Star Wars is important. And I think the message behind Rogue One is something we should keep with us. We might not see the end results of what we're fighting for today. We might not see them at all, but we have to believe what we're fighting for matters, even if we won't be able to see how it matters.